The J.W. Westcott Company plays a special part in the Great Lakes shipping industry. The firm makes deliveries to vessels that pass through the Detroit River, operating 24 hours every day during the shipping season. It's a small role, but it's absolutely essential, because it's one of the few chances to get things from the shore without stopping the ship during its journey through the lakes. J.W. Westcott started this company in 1874, and his descendants have been running it ever since. I was at their headquarters to capture the total experience of what it's like working this job, deliveries and beyond. But before I could do anything, I had to meet the crew for today's morning shift.
I'm Sam Buchanan. I'm the boat captain here at J.W. Westcott.
And I'm Bill Redding, daytime dispatcher / part-time boat captain.
So, how did you guys end up here? What made you want to do this?
Well, myself, my best friend that I grew up with out in Union Lake told me about the job opportunity down here. This would have been, latter part of 1979. And at the time I was working for Pontiac Motors Corporation up in Pontiac, and we all know what happened there. Layoffs began, and all of a sudden I was without a job, and all of a sudden Jim told me about his family business that they had down here in Detroit, and he knew I loved being on the water since we have so many lakes out our way there in Oakland County. He said, come on down, check it out. If it's something you think you'll like, we'll put you to work. And as they say, the rest is history.
Yep. Well, I grew up in the neighborhood here, so 1982 or so I wandered in the door here to see if I could have a job, but they don't hire till you're at least 18 here because of the danger and so forth that's involved with being out on the water. And so I waited till I was 18 and I joined the firm in 1985. In 1985, getting a real good job without going to college first wasn't really all that easy. You almost had to know somebody, and if you looked in the paper, in those days there'd be want ads in the paper, and most of them were for job services. They'd get you a job. Well, as luck would have it, I was able to get a job with the AT&T Corporation in 1986, and I was still working here part-time, and a full-time position to open up, and I walked away from the phone company and I came here. And probably the best decision I could have made at the time, for sure, because the job that I was doing at the phone company was eventually going to be played out just like his job at Pontiac Motors. So we stayed here with the small family firm all these years.
So how long have you both been here?
Well, I know myself, I'm in my 34th season right now.
I'm in season 37, but to be fair, he was here and then he left and he came back.
So there's some shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I met him in October of '82.
Oh.
That's how far we go back.
Oh, so was he chill back then, or was he
that chill back then?
He was younger and a lot better looking.
Thanks, Sam.
After some morning coffee, Bill and Sam get settled in for their shift, until about 10:30 when the radio goes off.
Bring her straight back across, as you come around the Hiram Walker plant there. That's worked out pretty good and fast.
Okay, we'll move the follow cutter on the starboard side, so I will stick on the Canadian side, and once you get closer,
Excellent.
I will swing towards the American side, and we'll make a good view for you.
Excellent. That'd be great. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cap.
It's the captain of a nearby ship that Bill simply calls the QW. It's a downbound oil/chemical tanker, and it needs a pilot change, meaning the Westcott crew has to take a replacement captain out to the QW and then bring the other captain back to shore. We have to wait for the replacement to arrive, but as soon as he does, we hit the water. Safety is always a concern with this job, especially when passengers are involved. And thanks to the wind, the water is a bit rougher this morning. But Sam is calm and collected.
I tell everybody the most dangerous part of my day is my commute here. If you're driving under 75, there's people are running you over. And most often every morning I see people pass me more than 100 miles an hour every morning. I don't know where the police are. But my most dangerous part of my whole day is getting here. You would think it might be out in the river, but far more safer I feel on the river than I do in my car.
That sort of confidence is both reassuring and necessary, because when we close in on the QW, you get a sense of just how massive it is. The QW is around 490 feet long and 76 feet wide, at least 10 times the size of our boat. A daunting sight for a first-timer like me, but nothing impressive to veteran sailors like Bill and Sam. It's common for ships in the Great Lakes to exceed 700 feet in length, with several of them reaching 1,000 feet. Of course, getting to the ship is only the first part. Now Sam has to carefully maneuver our boat to allow the captains to swap safely, without either us or the QW stopping, and only a rope ladder to climb between the two vessels.
You normally would go straight down the river, but now we're going to go sideways. And the reason we're going to do that is he blocks the current for me. And that should lessen the wave action that I have to deal with. But the other problem I'm dealing with is the wake that I threw coming up the river. Helps when they have long legs too. Okay, your relief is on the ladder, barely aboard. The lee's feeling pretty good. A little choppy, a little roughy, just get off my track. But the lee's good. See how you have to do this? When you're on shore, you're looking at this and you're thinking, man, that ship's going out of control, or he's going sideways, what's going on? But this is a tactical maneuver that we do. Otherwise, we would be hitting 5 and 6 foot waves. The waves aren't that big in the river, but once they hit the ship, they multiply, and they get a lot bigger, and since we're moving, it multiplies that even more, and then, plus our own wake that we hit coming up the river.
So this ship is blocking the waves?
Yes, of course it's going to get rough. We didn't have not one rough sea to you went to step off that ladder. I wonder what he did. Captain Petrov is on the boat. We are all set there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks guys.
The QW sails on with its new captain aboard, heading to the Welland Canal and eventually the port of Montreal, as Bill and Sam head back to headquarters to start preparing for the next delivery. Throughout the day, different trucks stop by to drop off mail and packages destined for the ships. Then it gets sorted and organized to reach the correct one. Bill even has a companion to help him out, but they're sleeping on the job.
We start here in alphabetical order, everything from any boat that starts with an A all the way around to the last one, which is the Whitefish Bay over here. Or actually the Sykes now. Yeah, I mean, we still maintain the slots, but there's certain ships that we never see actually. Because they'll basically sail Lake Michigan.
Right.
And go on up, whether they're going to Superior, Wisconsin, or Duluth, Minnesota, whatnot, to pick up their loads. They'll come around, go through the straits, and right down Lake Michigan. So we never see them come over our way.
So these are the main ships that traverse between the upper and lower lakes?
Correct.
Gotcha. The Westcott's mail service is what the company is known for. Its main boat even has its own zip code.
And just like I mentioned, with a zip code of 48222 for the mailboat.
Yeah.
48222.
Yeah.
So literally, you could just put a person's name on an envelope and put Detroit, Michigan 48222. It's going to come here.
Gotcha. 48222 is the only floating zip code in the United States, and the Westcott has had it since 1948. The volume of mail that the company handles has dropped over the years, thanks in large part to the rise of digital communication. But there are still many things that need to be delivered.
We have pop and some ramen noodles, and folks order up snacks and things that they can't get off the ship and go to Walmart, so we bring them stuff that'll make them happy.
Just after 2 p.m., Bill and Sam started getting ready for the second run of the day. It's another downbound ship, except this time it needed a mail delivery. It's a barge being pushed by a tugboat. The barge is the Menominee, and the tug is the Olive Moor. Together, they're 728 feet long and 70 feet wide, the longest vessel that Bill and Sam would deliver to today.
Yesterday, around numbers, 4 months, 5 months. Let's see that. Please.
A smooth handoff, and then the boats go their separate ways. But it's not the usual way that mail gets delivered. Typically, ships lower down a bucket to the JW Westcott, and the Westcott crew puts the mail inside of it. Even the company slogan is "Mail by the Pail." It's a system that's been in place for decades, and it works for both crews, although there have been small hiccups in the past.
Somebody ships the wrong package to something, or we put the wrong package on accident sometimes, So, we've had folks that want to put the mail off, and they have a bucket that comes down, and, if you got a new guy, I've had people just drop the bucket in the river, and then we have to try to fetch the mail back. So, and not only mail, it can be somebody's packages. They've dropped suitcases in the river. I mean, when you're going over the water, if it can fall, it will.
It happens, oh yeah. You screw up by doing something here or there that hopefully doesn't cost the company, a whole lot of money. But yeah, you mess up putting a letter on the wrong boat or something like that, oh yeah. You pay for that for years.
Luckily, nothing went wrong today. I got to see the bucket in action on the final delivery of the day. It's a general cargo ship known as the Blair McKeel, and the only upbound delivery of the day. It's around 459 feet long and 68 feet wide, and it's going all the way up to Thunder Bay, Ontario. About 525 nautical miles, or 972 kilometers from the port of Detroit where we were. By far my favorite part of this was us chasing the Blair McKeel. You can even see the bucket get lowered as we get closer. After the third delivery, things really calmed down. Bill and Sam's shift was nearly over, and the ship traffic was light, mainly because the Great Lakes shipping season was ending in a few weeks. A good part of the day was us just sitting around and hanging out. Bill and Sam even played a game of catch at one point.
Wow! Yay!
Just one of the ways to pass the time and have a fun moment with the crew. It's little things like this that fill the room with laughter or stir up a conversation, creating a positive mood and just making it a place that people want to spend time in. And that goes a long way.
It just seems like the J.W. Westcott company in general is so family oriented that I think that's the thing that really draws most people to our company. They like living that sort of thing. They don't want to be just a so-called number in a company. And I think that's why that our employees do as well as they do here too, because they don't want to let Jim Hogan down.
It's kind of like you become family, or you have your work family. And now when I met Bill here, I was still in high school. So since Bill's known me, I found a wife, I had 4 children, and now I have a grandson. And in the same time, Bill got married and has a whole family too. So before we knew each other, neither one of us had any, or when we met, neither one of us had anything else going on. So it's been a while.
Bill and Sam aren't the only ones that feel this way. Right before I left, I got to talk to Michael, who was coming in for the evening shift. In his 6th season working here, he already had high praises for the job.
So I grew up near the Detroit River my entire life. I really didn't start becoming exposed to the boating community, the maritime community, till I was around 18. That's when we started pleasure boating out on the river, and that's when I really started working in the maritime industry. One of the main guys here, Captain Sam Buchanan, kind of brought me up from Wyandotte, Michigan, which is just located about 10 miles down the river. I worked on a dinner boat down there, and he invited me to work up here, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. So why did you decide to switch from the dinner boat to here?
I would say this is a little more exciting. It's different day to day, and it keeps you on your toes. It's a really exciting place to be, great crew members, and just an overall great sense of community. And I'm very fortunate and appreciative that I have been given the opportunity to do something like this. I'll remember it for the rest of my life, that's for sure.
And I completely understand where he's coming from. Not only did I see moments that felt like they were from a movie, I was welcomed in and treated like one of the crew. It's awesome that this piece of history is here in Detroit and it's still active. And I'll remember this day forever.
One long, 2 short. There you go, you got it.
I think our whistle's better than